Good day, folks, wherever you are, whatever time zone you belong to. This is a very, very interesting interview with Elon Musk's father, Errol Musk. Of course, they are from South Africa. And he talks about very, very interesting things about his son, Elon Musk, his relationship with uh, President Donald Trump, and the whole bit things that we are not aware of it. But on a personal note, sometimes you don't know the people. You look at them on screen, and somehow your perception makes you feel so good about them. So I have my highest respect for this man, Errol Musk. To me, he looks like erstwhile Hollywood actor Al Pacino, one of my favorite actors. Anyway, cut to the chase, listen to this, and we'll go from there.
Up to about 7 years ago, 8 years ago roughly, when I turned 70, they came to Cape Town for my 70th birthday, my two sons, and they brought with them about 50 people from America. And for a party for my birthday, you see. And during this party, one of the film actors, John Favreau, said to me, we believe, this is just before the 2016 election, we believe you support Trump. And I said, yes, I support Trump. And they all burst into laughter. And then they said, well, why do you support Trump? And I said, well, he's a businessman. It's much better than a career politician. You know, and then they all laughed. No, he's a con man. He's a crook. He's a thief. He's a bad man. You're stupid, you know, and everything. Anyway, after the lunch and everybody had left, my two sons came to me and said, what's wrong with you? Couldn't you say I don't know? You know? So I said, you know. So they said, don't you get it? Trump is evil. You are evil, you know, because I support Trump. I said, look, I don't know. Anyway, so they left, went back to America, and we sort of went over a few times after that because my daughters were graduating and so on. And we just didn't talk politics. And we just kept out of it. And then along came the Biden administration, and it wasn't long before Elon concluded that there's something wrong. Biden invited all the electric car manufacturers to a week-long discussion at the White House in 2021 to discuss America being an electric car country by 2035. Didn't invite Tesla.
Okay.
Didn't invite Tesla. Tesla that year had sold 1 million electric vehicles and had about 450,000 on order. But Tesla was not invited. And
any reason?
no, Biden gave no reason. They don't like Tesla. They don't like anything that's successful, the Dems. You know, there's something wrong with them, in my opinion. There's a mental problem. But anyway, so they introduced the head of GM. The other 5 manufacturers had made 26 electric vehicles during that year, sold none. And the Biden introduced the head of GM, a woman, as the leading person in electric car manufacture. Elon started saying at that point that Biden must be a lunatic. Now, he's inclined to do that, you know. If he doesn't think if he thinks there's something wrong with you, he's inclined to say straight away, are you stupid or what? You know, that's unfortunately from the day he was 4 or 5 years old, he was doing that. I've had to tell him you can't do that. I still tell him you can't do that. But at any rate...
If he didn't listen to you at 4 years, I'm not sure he would listen to you today.
No, it's very difficult with him. My youngest son I've seen my youngest son screaming at him and saying, I speak to the customers. You don't speak to the customers. You just go and do your work. Because Elon can be short with people, you see. Anyway, he started calling Biden a lunatic. So I saw this and it was in the press, you know, and I immediately got hold of him. I said, hey, these are political statements. Do you realize you're making, these people will kill you. You can't make statements like that, they'll kill you. They don't play games. I said, how are your bodyguards? And then shortly after that, Twitter came out with thousands, tens of thousands of bots, or rather tweets, saying that he must leave the country, he's no good to America, he's a thief, he steals government money, which of course was all not true at all. And he couldn't understand this. He said, well, why? What? Then people explained to him, this is not people, these are bots or robot tweets that are being put out by the crooked FBI, which is now being cleaned out in America, and by the Dems, who are now no longer in power and are going to face the music as well. They are putting these things out deliberately.
So he bought Twitter instead.
With bots, yes. They're putting a Twitter is not an honest site. And so Elon said, well, who owns Twitter? They said, well, it's basically a private company. So he said, okay, then I'm buying it. So at that time, we thought Twitter was worth $7 billion for its database, which is a lot of money. But they managed to push the price up to $44 billion to try and stop him. But he still bought it. And as you know, today it's X, fired 7,000 out of 8,000 employees immediately. That was done by his nephew, his cousin, my nephew, my brother's son, and who runs X now. And it's now really the only free speech, genuine free speech platform in the world. So all those people have seen their behinds, you might say.
So then,
and then
with
he
Trump,
turned to Trump.
So
Then he
with
turned
Trump,
to
is
Trump.
it love on the rebound?
Yes, he did a complete 180, joined Trump, and and they made a great success of things. So, for people like myself, I'm essentially a tech businessman. I'm not into crazy, weird ideas. Or I know what works and I know what doesn't work. And to me, we have a world now where things are going to start working properly, and that would work properly for
But then
all the
he's
countries.
out of
Pardon?
Trump's Doge as well.
Well, his tenure, they now have the team is working on its own. So they have a federal employees who are now doing the job that he set them up to do.
And
His job
he's
is not to go-
criticizing Trump's spending, the kind of debt that has...
a lot of that is media. And then
The bill is media?
a lot of it is media, but at the same time, when you look at any business deals and any things that are being contemplated, they have to go through Congress. So there's a convoluted process where people get things done, sometimes by saying they don't want them done, if you understand. Because it's a case of pulling the wool over the opposition's eyes.
Oh, so this is...
Well, you know, it's
this
like,
is a
it's like
conspiracy
business.
theory, or
No, it's
is
like,
this a conversation that you've had?
well, it's like any business, you know. That's why you're not allowed to have spies of yours in somebody else's business. People would do that if they could. But generally, when you're in competition, you have to be 1 or 2 steps ahead of your competitors. So if your competitors think you're going to go this way,
You go the other way.
you go the other way,
So
or
is
you
he
let them
conning
think
the
you're going
people
this
of
way.
America?
Sorry?